Sir, is it audible, sir?
Yes, yes,
We'll
yes.
start the session. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ram Sagar, Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering at Aditya Engineering College. I'm honored here to welcome the esteemed speaker and participants to the day 3 session of 1 week online short-term refresher course on publications, projects, and patents. It is my pleasure to introduce today's resource person, Dr. L.V.PRASAD, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, IIT Silchar. He done his BTech in Civil Engineering from Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati in 1999 and MTech in Structural Engineering from Kakatiya University, Warangal 2004 and PhD in Civil Engineering from National Institute of Technology, Warangal. He is having 18 years of teaching and 14 years of research experience. His area of research interests are new materials in concrete, self-compacting concrete, recycled aggregate, fiber-reinforced concrete, geopolymer concrete, and CO2 mineralization into concrete. He published 20 papers, out of which 10 are SCI and ESCI and 10 are Scopus research articles, and 4 granted patents, and 9 book chapters published, and 35 paper presentations given in various national and international conferences. Welcome, sir.
Thank
Now,
you.
I would like to invite Dr. Ram Mohan Reddy, sir, convener and head of the Department of Civil Engineering, Aditya Engineering College, to address the gathering.
Good evening, all the participants, especially L.V.PRASAD, sir. Very good evening, sir. And we are very thankful for accepting our request to.
Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Sir, very thankful, sir. Very thankful for you for accepting our request to present the lecture related to how to write a manuscript scientific paper from title to the references. So it will very helpful nowadays. Most of the faculty, those who are in the academic activities, and the students, those who are pursuing their PhD or they're pursuing their post graduation, they are looking for some basic information towards how to write a scientific paper. So I hope it will be a valuable session for all the participants. So we are very much thankful to you, sir, for accepting our invitation. Yes, sir. Now session is yours, sir. We can go ahead.
So shall I take the session? I
Yes,
will
sir.
start my presentation. So before starting my presentation, I am very much thankful to this Aditya College of Engineering, Department of Civil Engineering, for conducting 1 week online short-term course and inviting me as a expert to deliver a lecture here. Mainly, I am very much thankful to the chief patrons, Dr. N. Shesha Reddy Garu, chairman of the college, and Dr. N. Satish Reddy Garu, vice chairman of the college. Then the patron of this 1 week program, Dr. M. Srinivasa Reddy, principal. Thank you, sir. Then I am very much thankful to the advisory committee, Dr. KVSR Murthy, Dean R&D, and Dr. S. Ramasri Garu, Dean Academics. Then convener Dr. Ram Mohan Reddy Garu, Associate Professor and Head of the department. Then mainly organizing secretaries, I am very much thankful to the Dr. Yashwant KK, Assistant Professor, and Mr. B. Ram Sagar. Actually, he is my research scholar in NIT Silchar. He is doing very good work, and I hope he will finish his work as early as possible. And all the organizing committee members, students, and other participants, welcome to this session. Actually, I should have given a topic lecture overview of this program in the inauguration section, but unfortunately, due to I have some other technical program, I visited Belgaum VTU University. So there I conducted one PhD Viva Voice examination. So because of that, it is postponed to this date. And for this cooperation, I am very much thankful to sir. Now I will start the session. I am sharing my presentation. Just check whether it is visible or not.
Okay.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So already your when in the beginning of the program only our professors told that nowadays we need the publication of any work what we are doing, not only publication of a work. Suppose if you take let us take, if you are doing some work, whether it is at btech level, mtech level, or phd level, what we have to do? First we have to get recognition that we are experts in this area. Nowadays what happening, job opportunity, if you see, earlier job opportunity is different, nowadays the job opportunity is different. Nowadays any even at btech level students are starting with their startup programs, because if you have some idea, then you make that idea into a business. See, we are engineers. What are the engineers duty? As an engineer, we want to develop the products, some product which is useful to the society. Completely whatever the changes nowadays we are seeing, all these we are responsible for the good or bad. If you see some environmental effects we are seeing, for that also we are responsible. So that's why our research should be in such a way that it should not harm the environment, and at the same time it should be socially, economically, uh, with all respects, it should be useful to the society. In such way we have to do our research or any work. Suppose if it is at btech level, you are doing some project, and from that if you are getting some achievements, then you can go for starting a small startup with your new idea. Because nowadays students are in our college, they are starting with the startups, small startup. If they get just one example I will tell you. In our college, simple idea I am saying. See, all the students, they need their cloth will be ironed. So for that, one computer science student, what he has done, he's developed a small application app in such a way that he is given the details of the who is the person who is doing this ironing work, and what is the cost of the individual, and at what time he will collect. So if you contact that person through that app, he is coming to your whenever you are available, he is coming at that time and he is collecting, and he is after that he is giving you after doing the ironing. So like that, any work example I have shown you. So like that, any latest developments, any technology, suppose you have developed some mixed proportion by using some new materials, then you go for patenting also. Yeah, any disturbance is there?
Oh, sir, we'll
Okay,
mute them.
right. Right. So like that, nowadays whatever the idea you are getting, that should be presented in different form. It may be a startup, or it may be a small entrepreneur, or it may be a company. Like that, you have to start from the btech level, mtech level, like that. Suppose if you are doing a research, then for a research, writing a manuscript is the only alternative to present your work to the society. Because we don't know whether we are going in a right way or wrong way, or whether my idea is correct or not. If some people have not done, that's why I am doing, it is not the solution. If you are doing means, definitely any work, it should have a application, or it should have some impact on the society. Okay. So definitely if you are doing any scientific experimentation, that should be published. Okay. Then, so a scientific paper is a written and published report describes the original results of the research. Okay. So what is the purpose of the scientific writing? All these things we will discuss here. Basically, what happens, let us, you have started some research work. I will come from the research scholar. Or let us say at BTech level, you have started doing some small project on materials or something like that. So you want to check that whether this idea is applicable or not. Then you can simply, what you can do, how to know. For that, what generally what we will do, first we have to do the literature review. Okay. So in the literature review, you will find in that same direction how many papers are published till now, what is the latest research, how then who are the authors, expert in that area. Like that, we will get some information. Then from that, we will start actually. Basically, this is whatever I am showing here is the background of how it is started publishing. Because earlier, if you see even if you take the Vedas and all that, some mantras also, they are not written in the written form. Only mouth to mouth they have transferred. But that may not be known to the all other persons. So after 2000 BC or something like that, it is started writing in a record form. It may be in the different forms. It may be in the painting form, or it may be writing on the leaves, or writing in the walls. Like that it is started actually. Okay, so this is all background of the how it is started, but that is not important. So what are the essential parts of a scientific manuscript, that I will tell you. What are the basic components, like chapters, I can say. Title, abstract, introduction, or suppose if it is a materials related, then materials, methods, otherwise analytical uh, analysis, then discussion results, then conclusions. So these are the heart, or these are the main components of a scientific manuscript. Okay, so for that actually we follow the IMRAD story. IMRAD means introduction, methods, results, and discussion. So in here actually I means introduction, what question or problem was studied, what you have studied in the introduction we are going to describe. Then method, how was the problem studied. You have taken some problem for study, and how you have studied that problem, and that we are going to explain with the methods what we have taken. Results, what are the findings of your problem, and what how you follow the methods. From that, what are the findings you got, that will be the results. And A is represented for and discussion, what do these findings mean. Obviously these things should be covered in any, if it may be a conference paper, or it may be a small journal paper, national journal paper, or it may be a international conference paper, or it may be a peer reviewed paper, or it may be any type of paper. So before going to these different types of papers, I will share you. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, let us see here. I am maintaining my Google Scholar ID. Why I am maintaining? Because whatever I am doing my research, it should known to the society, and I should get some citation. That means some should people should follow my work. Then only I will get the credit. Similarly, I should publish in a good recognized journals. See, if you see here, starting from the 2023, so many works I have done. In these, around 60 or 70 papers are there. So starting from 2007 or 2005 onwards, in this, all the books are there. Some book chapters are there. Some conference papers are there. Some peer-reviewed journals are there. SCI are there. Scopus are there. But why I am maintaining this data? Because if I am maintaining this data, those who are starting, suppose one of you are some of you are starting on self compacting concrete, let us say. So I started working on self compacting concrete from 2007 onwards, only 2007 2008 onwards. So if you see my papers, you will get comparative study of glass and polypropylene fiber reinforced self compacting concrete, which is published by me and my guide. So here you will get the basic data about the self-compacting concrete. If you see similarly 2007, fresh and hardened properties of glass and polypropylene fiber reinforced self-compacting concrete, like that. So what happens is, if I am publishing a paper, so from that I can say whether this work is going to be I will get the comments also, even I will get the citations. If you see, it is showing some citations here. Some people are cited. Suppose if you take this paper, 6 citations I received. So means 6 persons they have given this as a reference in their citation. And if you see here, mechanical properties of fiber reinforced concrete produced from building demolished waste, 27 citations. Similarly, here 43 citations. That means my work is followed by some other people. If my work is followed, means definitely there is a worth in my work. So that's why whenever you are publishing a paper, you have to maintain the standards. Standards you have to maintain, and like this you have to maintain the data also. Similarly, here I have this Google Scholar. Similarly, if you see here, I have my Scopus ID. So here, see what is the difference from Scopus ID to Google Scholar. In the Google Scholar, you are getting around 70 papers. That means including conferences, book chapters, whatever the recognized I have done, everything it is showing. But here, if you see the difference, it will show only the indexed publications. That means these are the peer reviewed and these are published by a very good nature of paper publishers. Like they are going to be Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 ranking, like that. We will discuss that one later. So that only here it is showing. Similarly, I have a ORC ID. If you see here, it will show the other research platforms, whatever I have, that it will show here. So like that, you have to maintain your data uh, to expose yourself. Okay. So without exposure, your work cannot be come in the society. You have to present your work in the as in the form of a manuscript, and that should be followed by some other people. Similar, because when I have started writing a paper, of course I have some research findings. Along with that, I referred some good journals. Definitely I will refer some good journals. Then I will take the introduction part from some people. Then the literature review up to that date, what is the literature review it is existing. Then I will go to the problem identification. That is, I can say what is the scope of the problem, right? Okay. So here, right, I will start from this. Okay. What is a scientific manuscript? So in writing a scientific manuscript, must be it should be a original research work. If you want to write a scientific manuscript, actually, or a good manuscript, it should be a original research work. Suppose at BTech level, you are doing some work, an experimental work, and you are getting some results, then it should be your original work. It should be not copied from others. You may have referred their papers. Suppose they are doing on some material, then your material will be changed. So if this is the material, then what is happening with respect to results, with respect to strength characters, or with respect to analysis part, like that, you can compare, no problem. But it should be a original research part. And you should prepare in such a way that that should be neatly understandable, and it will go for peer review also, and the source document readily available with the scientific community. When you are publishing the paper, you have to give the full information. Sometimes what we will do, we will not disclose some of the important points it is required. If it is not possible to mention in the introduction, literature review, or something like that, you can give an appendix at the end and you give the details at that place. Okay. So generally, if a paper should be accepted, means this is the data you should have to access observations. That means you have to give the full access to your data. Suppose you are developed some, you have conducted some experimentation. From that, you have some observations. That table also you have to present. Let us say you have developed stress strain curve. So if you have developed stress strain curve, obviously you are going to have the load values, deflection values. Then from that, what is the stress at individual point for a particular strain? Like that, you may have developed a obstruction observation table. So that should be given. From that, then you are going to develop the stress strain curve for different patterns like without fibers, with different concretes like that. But the data should be given clearly, and the experiments should be repeatedly. That means you have to show the example of some of the experiments, what is the setup you have done, how you have done the experimental setup. Then evaluating intellectual process, that means how you have evaluated the evaluation process. That means after the observation table we are getting some findings, so from that how you have evaluated the data to get the discussion and results. It should have an impact. Okay. Available to scientific community, already we have discussed, and available for regular screening. All these are the important points. This is the common thing when you are writing any paper. Obviously, generally we will write in English language. It should be in a simple English. Simple English. You use a simple English which is understandable to the other person. If you read once or twice by yourself, you will see, you can observe that whether it is understanding or not. Sometimes nowadays what we are doing, because of this plagiarism problem, even though you are written well correctly first time, but to avoid this plagiarism check and all that, we are rewriting, we are making the abbreviations first and all this. Somewhere you are rewriting that. It should not be like that. It should be meaningful, and it should be a, uh, good quality of writing. Okay. And always keep in mind that the paragraph is the essential unit of the thought. See, whatever you want to present with a clean English, it should be a structured English with a paragraph, right? And before starting writing the manuscript, what data we have to collect? Record your readings. See, if it is an experimental work, you keep all the record of your readings, prepare some tables, graphs, then summaries, results, data files, then reserve your readings. So you prepare the background of your research, then you go for the collecting the literature. Then um, you should be ready before writing. And from where we have to start? You should not start with the abstract. Abstract will come finally. Initially you give some title, but the title should is the very important parameter in any manuscript writing. Because it will give the core contents of the paper. By just by study at some people, what they will do generally, only by seeing the title they will select the paper. Oh, this may be suitable to my research, like that. So that's why you give a appropriate title to your research. If you are doing some work, it should be appropriate title. From the title only he has to know what you are doing, like that you have to write. And abstract, actually we will write abstract at the final, because it is the summary of the work. And what should be there in the abstract, that I will discuss. Major elements, like suppose if I am doing some research, the abstract should contain the major part of the summary of the work. Then introduction, context and rationale for the study. Means in the introduction, actually it gives the context of the current work. Suppose if I am working on self compacting concrete, let us say. So what is the contents? It is the concrete. Why I am going for a self compacting concrete? Who developed this at first time? Then what is the latest trend of this? What is the difference from the regular concrete? Like that, that context should be there. And I have to give an introduction to that first. Without introduction, if I go directly to my work, they will not understand, na? So in the introduction part, a simple brief introduction you have to give them. Then materials, obviously in the materials and methods you have to describe the experimental designs, then experimental procedures you have to make. So after that you are going to have the results and discussions. So results and discussion is the very important part. Findings without interpretation. Summarizing the findings without interpretations. You should not give any interpretation. Simply you have to give the summary of the results. Then interpret the findings of the study. In the discussion you will go for interpreting. That means in the discussion part, let us say already existing, suppose if you take a self compacting concrete, Let us say you have developed a self stress strain curve for a self compacting concrete. Already existing stress strain curve we know for a regular conventional concrete, then you can interpret with the regular stress strain curve to the SCC in where it is different from the regular, then where what parameters are improved or what there may be some limitations in our research also. Always it may not be in with respect to all the points, it may not be good, some limitations may be there, so that you have to mention here. These are the limitations or like that. Finally we have to give the summary or conclusion of our, it is the outcome of your research. Okay, in the conclusion we will give the summary of our work and acknowledgement. Definitely if you are doing some work, as particularly if you see our if it is a experimental or analytical or any work, definitely we may have taken some help from the others. So here it is a chance to you to acknowledge them, to say thanks to them, to helping your family or your friends or your masters or whoever technicians, those who are helping you financially or scientifically, technically, non-technically. So you give a briefly you have to mention the acknowledgement. I am very much thankful to these people like that. Then references also very 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 important, because whatever the work you are doing, it is based on some context reference. No, that's why we will call it is a research. Research means already some work is there, then I am going to research and I am going to modify that. I am going to give a new area, I am going to say some of the new things I am going to check. So that's why it is called a research. And references are very very important. In the references there are different types of references presenting. I will discuss here all these points one by one. We will discuss here. So whatever the paper you have referred, that should come in the references part. And if you have kept in the references, it should be referred in the anywhere of your manuscript. It should not be like that you have given 25 references but none of them are only 5 or 6 are used in the referenced or cited in the manuscript. It is not good. All the papers should be whatever you are giving in the reference. You are giving in the reference means you have taken the help of them in preparing this work or in doing this work or in preparing this manuscript. So you have to refer whatever you have referred, that should become that should come in the in the in anywhere of this from introduction to summary. Sometimes from introduction to summary, anywhere these references will come. Generally in the abstract we don't give any citation or reference because it is the summary of the work. Okay, so title of the manuscript, if you come to the title of the good title is defined as the fewest possible words that adequately describe the contents of the paper. See, the paper title should be very much relevant and it should be written in a simple language. And generally you try to write a title only in 2 lines. It should not be more than 2 lines. Suppose if I am writing some paper, some people write a very big lengthy title. It may come 3 4 lines, 3 4 lines. It should not be like that, because it should represent your work. So that's why your title should be a very simple title. Suppose if you see here, strength and durability properties of SCC developed using limestone clay, calcined clay, cement. So that is simple title. Here I am studying the strength and durability properties of SCC using LC3 concrete. So like that you have to represent the simple title. And generally what happens is when it goes to the indexing or abstracting, that means if you go to the going to a selecting a journal, they will give so much importance to the title. Based on that only they will select or they may reject. So that's why giving a title is very 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 important. It should not be too short or it should not be too long. Okay, and you should not give any abbreviations. Okay, and it waste words like studies on, investigations on, should not be used actually. A simple things you have to write. And particularly some people, what they will do, they will write, see, if after having the popularity, suppose let us say in the 2007 only or 2006 only, if I write here self compacting concrete in place of self compacting concrete, if I write SCC, because at that time it is a new concrete. If I write SCC, only few, only less, less number of people, those who are working in that area, they only know. So to avoid the confusion, always if you are giving a title, you give the full form. Fiber reinforced means you write the complete fiber reinforced, like that. Okay. So if it is a new work, don't go for now. If I give SEC, no problem, because of 2007 to 2024, now almost nowadays everyone knows about the SEC. So that's why even now if you write the short form also, no problem. That way you have to do your title, and no abbreviation should be maintained. It should be a meaningful, it should be conscious, specific and informative, like that. It should be a clear title which is suitable to your work. It is not like that. See, some people I have seen nowadays, they are doing some work which is relevant to the machine learning, but it is not a machine learning. It is a some tool which is also involves the machine learning data, but some people they are doing in ANN or ANFIS or something like that, artificial intelligence they are using, and simply they are saying it is a machine learning work. See, machine learning is different, artificial intelligence is different, IoT is different. So if you go on big data, so like that, there are so many different areas are there. Don't mix with the, you are doing in different area but you are giving a different title to attract the people. It should not be like that. Okay. Make a list of the most important keywords before writing the title. Actually what we have to do is we have to give 2 3 titles roughly. I have to give one title, second title, third title, like that, and you discuss with your guide or supervisor, those who are involved with the work. Then like that, you, when you are going to finalize this title, actually you have to make a trial whether this is suitable or not, like that you have to justify. Then when you are going to the abstract of a manuscript, basically it will show the summary of the work, and particularly fundamental important that abstract be written clearly and simply. Generally what happens is some people only they will read the abstract, with the abstract only they will decide what is the nature of the work and how depth it is. So that's why your abstract and summary, conclusions, these two are very very important. And here you have to give the brief summary of the each of the main sections, like whatever the imbrad I told you na, introduction, methods, research, and discussions. From that you have to give a brief summary of each, and what are the principal objectives and scope of the work, scope of your investigation, that should be covered in your abstract. And describe the methods what you have used. Suppose I have let us say, already I told you na, I developed a stress strain curve. So for that, what is the, so I have taken a self compacting concrete. For that, what are the material I have taken, or what is the grade of the concrete I have taken. Then what is the uh, to take the to get the compressive strength, what specimens I have used. Then to go for the flexural studies, or to go to get the stress strain curve, what are the this element, what type of element I have taken, whether it is a flexural member or a column or a short column or a beam. So like that I have to give a brief description of it. Then from that I have to say, if I am doing this type of experimentation, then from this I am getting these results, like that. Brief description will be given and summary of the results. If I am doing this test, then these are the observations. Suppose if I want to say, by using a fiber reinforced self compacting concrete, what are the excess, what is the percentage improvement in the strength values, like that. If I want to say, I can mention in the summarized results with the percentage improvement. Some numerical results should be there in the because they will see what it should be attractive. It should show the results also, and quantitative results we have to say, not only qualitative. Quantitatively, I have to mention this many number of beams I have casted. Then these are the specimens tested, and then these percentage of improvement I have seen. Like that, quantitatively you have to mention. So it is easier to write the abstract after completion of the paper. Obviously, you have to write the abstract after completing all the parts of the paper. Because when you are getting the summary of the results after the discussion of the results and discussions, only we will go to the conclusions or summary. Then only you have to start your manuscript abstract, right? So if you go to the criteria of abstract, generally every paper, suppose wherever you are going to submit, suppose you are submitting in some journal, then definitely they will give you some criteria. They will say that our criteria is this. That means it should not cross 250 words abstract. It should be only 5 pages of full length paper, or it may be the paper length is only 10 pages. Like that, they will give the, sometimes they will give the standard syntax also, standard format also. They will say this many number of words with this you use only italic Roman, or you use only this type of suppose it may be Arial, or it may be Roman, or like that. They will mention what type of what is the size of the these words, and what is the lettering, titles, everything they will mention. They will give a sample also. So you have to follow strictly. We have to follow that. If they are giving any template, we have to strictly follow that template. Okay. Suppose I will show you. Recently, I am publishing. I am sending a paper to a international journal. Let us see here. Conferences, no? Research work, application, conferences. See, I am sending some for Italy. I am sending some paper. So they have given this format. How the Times New Roman with 14 title should be like this. Author should be given like this. Then their affiliation should be given like this. Abstract should be 350 words only. What should content in the abstract? Then what will be the introduction? How to write the introduction? Then how to describe my materials and methods? Then what is the results? What will be the font I have to give for the results? See, if you observe here, abstract, then introduction one, and here I will be capital, all other will be small letters. So like that, they will share with you some syntax. Accordingly, you have to follow, and you have to write the uh, uh, abstract. Generally, it should be written in the past tense, as it refers to the work done. Because when I am writing a paper, means after completing my work only I am doing a writing a paper, na. So it is obviously in the past tense. Okay. Suppose if you every time I don't want to write the self compacting concrete in the abstract, once you write self compacting concrete and you write in the bracket SCC, that abbreviation next onwards you can use it. But first, wherever you are writing SCC first, generally in the abstract or introduction, first you write and you give the abbreviation in the bracket. Then next time onwards, simply you can say SCC. Like that also you can say. And it should not cite any references in the abstract. Because abstract I am writing here, the abstract is from my research, not from others' research. So that's why the abstract should not contain any references, and it should not cite any paper. Simply, it is your work. And in the abstract, you have to maintain in such a way that whatever the results you are getting from that work, that only you have to mention. You should not give any general comment which is not done by you. Sometimes what we will do, we will do the work, we will think, we will hope that this may be happening, and we will write in the abstract this is the happening. General conclusion we will give. It should not be like that. It is not relevant to your work, na? Because whatever the conclusion I am mentioning, that should be from your paper only. That should be from your work only. You cannot give a general conclusion which is not at all, it is not a finding of yours. Sometimes what we will do, simply suppose if you take some durability test or something, you will do a simple test, and but you will give a deep description about the results. Frankly speaking, you have not done that much depth of work. You have done only initial work, but you will say, if you give a comment in the conclusion, in the abstract, that a deep conclusion if you give, it should not be relevant to that. Okay, whatever the work you have done, whatever the findings you have, from that only you have to give it here. And must be accurate with respect to the figures quoted in the main text. That means, suppose in the conclusion you are saying that some percentage, like 15% or 16% improvement as observed from by doing this test, by adding some fibers or something like that. So that should be accurately here also you have to mention. At least you can give a range also, 15 to 20 like that. But it should not be like that. Here your figures are different, and but your findings are different. It should not be like that. So that's why, by seeing the abstract, then he will go to the conclusion. That's why title and abstract are very, very, very important for writing any paper, right? Then introduction of a manuscript. So what I have to mention in the introduction? Basically, what was I studying? You question yourself. If I am going through your introduction, I should get an answer that what I am studying. First of all, he has to know what you want to express, what is your findings, and why was this an important question. That means why in whatever the study he has done, why this is important, what are the advantage of it, like that I should get an answer. What did I know about this topic before I did this study? That also we have to mention, because in the introduction, generally what we will do before we are starting, what is available earlier. Obviously, when I am doing, see, let us say some best example, I started my self compacting concrete work in 2007. Before that, actually, frankly speaking, for doing the test, that means for considering it as a self compacting concrete, you have to do some tests on it. What are the tests required? But at that time, if you say, earlier there are some different methods, now some different additional methods also came into picture. So by that time, what is available, that I have to mention. So suppose if you say uh, Hazim Okamura 1989, he started this self-compacting concrete, and for making these tests he has done simple three tests: passing ability, flowability, resistance to segregation. So for that, what he developed. So there should be a background of the research. What earlierly, what, where it is started, who started, and what is his finding. If you start from that line in the introduction, it will give an interest to the any work. I'm saying for SCC, I'm saying similarly, any work, whatever you are doing, you just say at what time it is started, who started, and in the beginning, what was his finding. Then from that, what you are extending. See, model was eye testing. That means, what is my new innovative in this? In the introduction, briefly, you have to say this is existing, but with for this, I am adding newly this. Just you have to say what you are going to do here, because in the next steps after introduction, literature review, when we go for methods and methodology, obviously we will explain our topic. But before that, here you have to mention what is your idea. So what approach did I take in this study? What is the approach you are going to follow? That should also cover in the introduction. Obviously, when I am writing the introduction, you may refer, should present the nature and scope of the problem investigated, review the pertinent literature. That means in the introduction also, definitely, suppose I told you now, Okamura is the father of the SCC. So I have to give a small references or citation. Okamura, suppose he published in 2015 some paper, then I will give in the bracket, and whatever the matter I am writing here, so some three four lines I will write, refer his nature of the work, and I will give in the his citation, because we have to say who he started, how he started. So definitely there should be a citation, na? So that reference should come here. And obviously in the introduction, simply you have to state, only you state here, no need to explain what is the method of investigation, and state the principal results of the investigation. Suppose example I am saying, if I want to develop a fiber reinforced self compacting concrete, that is my investigation. Then if I am adding the fibers, what advantage it is going to give? Obviously it is good in tensile strength and flexural properties. So general comment I can give here. If I am adding fibers to the SCC, it may give a better results with respect to these things. Generally, like that. We have to give a common conclusion like that. We have to mention in this. Okay. And use the present tense when referring to work that has already been published. Suppose I am saying, na, already he has done. So you use in the present tense. But past tense when referring to own study. If it is a own study, because this is my third paper, not the first paper in the self compacting concrete. If I am writing, then if I am referring the previous work, then I have to write that in the past tense. Okay, these things you have to maintain. And use the active voice as much as possible in the introduction part. And avoid lengthy or unfocused review of previous research. Definitely in the introduction, we will give some previous research, we will refer, but it should be closely relevant to your work. Actually, generally what happens, if I type self-compacting concrete, so many papers will come, but all papers are not relevant to the fiber reinforced concrete. Na? So which are fundamentally they are going to say about SCC, and which papers are, it may be not be a self-compacting concrete, it may be a fiber reinforced concrete, like that, which are closely relevant to your paper, that only you have to present in the as a previous paper, previous research. And what type of scientific literature you have to peer review here? It should be a peer reviewed. Generally what happens nowadays, because for MTech students in some colleges, it is a compulsion that he has to go for publishing one, at least one journal paper. It may be paid journal or something like that. So if it is compulsion, what they are doing, simply they are writing a paper and paying the processing fee, and it is published. So that type of papers you should not encourage, and you should not use that as a review. It should be as a reference paper, or only peer reviewed scientific papers only we have to refer. Because very simple, if you are referring good quality of papers, then your quality of paper also improves. Like that you have to refer. Don't write the reference of some standard textbook. Suppose I am doing on stress strain curve, then I cannot mention a use Ramamrutam, or take AK Jain, or like that. I cannot give a textbook. Textbook is different, research work is different. You should not give a general reference like that. Okay. And in the introduction itself, already I told you, whether it may be in the abstract part or in the introduction part, any special abbreviations are there. In the beginning only you give the complete full abbreviation, then you continue. Okay. Now you go to the how to write the materials and methods section. You give the full details of the experiments and which are reproducible. Because suppose if any person is referring your paper, it should be in such a way that he is at least he is able to reproduce the same. Suppose he want to test that whether you have done this work and you are saying these results are coming, at least if he wants to reproduce the same, he has to get the results. Like that you have to give the full data. Suppose let us take a concrete. If I am preparing a concrete, what I need the cement, I need the coarse aggregate, I need the fine aggregate, even I use some super plasticizer, and what is the mix proportion, what code I have followed. All the details I have to give. Suppose you are saying I have developed a M40 grade concrete, I am getting these results, but you are not saying what type of superplaster you have used, what is the dosage of it, how you have replaced the cement with the other ingredients. All these details if you have not mentioned, then he cannot reproduce. At least first, generally what we will do, we will if any researcher at BTech level or MTech level, he will try to reproduce the same thing, then he want to add some extra to that. Actually what happens if you are not giving the complete details, generally when you go submitting a good quality of journal, these peer reviewers, if they are not getting clarity, simply they will reject the paper. And organize the methods under subheadings with the related method described together. Suppose if it is a some experimental work, then you can say how you have developed this mixed proportion, then what are the specimens you have used, then what and what sub materials you have used, then what is their quality of the materials, then what is their physical or chemical properties, then what is the equation you have used, like that, step by step, all the things you have to describe in the what type of method you are following, that you have to describe. And describe the experimental design in detail. Okay, whatever the experimentation you are doing, it should be given in detail, and you should not give any results in this section. See here, materials and methods means what is the material I am using and what was the method I followed. Here you should not give the discussion and results and all this, and written in the past tense, because you have done the work by using these materials. So I have developed a mixed proportion, I have developed past tense, M40 grade concrete, you have to write in the past tense. Then material part of the already have discussed, same it is repeated here. Subjects studied, number of individuals in each group used, like that. Some description, if you want to give full description, you can give about the materials part. Then method, always some method we follow, that method generally we will say in the form of the phases, that methods, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, because after getting some by following some method we will get some results, then from that, then I will go to the step, next step, then next step, like that. And sometimes what happens is the method what I am following is already published in some other manuscript, but here some of the contents may be different. Then in that case you mention that, no problem, see this method is already available here. Suppose you have developed a stress strain curve, and for that you are given a equation, or generally regular equation is available in some author has developed, but for SCC he may not be developed. Then you mention the common equation what he also used and you are also using, you can mention that in the methods. Okay, like that the method should be. And how to write the results of a matches. So obviously after doing the methods and materials, we are going for the discussion of the results, we are going for the results actually. So it is also in the past tense, and it is the heart of the paper, clear and simply stated. Results should be, there should not be any confusion. Obviously when we are going to present the results, we may use some tables, figures and all that. You can take the help of the tables and figures and all this, but it should be in a orderly and logically sequence. Suppose you have done some experimental work, then you have to say this is the cube strength, then split tensile and flexural, then some other study, then what are the relations with the codal provision. So like that, there should be a sequentially you have to follow. The result should be in the sequential order, it should be understand one by one, and you give the major points, you have to give stress you have to mention, and don't repeat the things. Suppose in the methods or materials you have mentioned that thing, suppose the mixed proportioning already I have mentioned there, then again don't repeat here. Simply you say I have used the M40. By using the M40, I am getting these results. No need again to explain each and everything, whatever earlier repeated. No repetition should be there in the paper particularly. That is very, very important. So when you are presenting the data, it may be presented in the table form or it may be in the figure form. And it should be presented with a textual presentation of key findings. See, whenever I am writing a table should have a title, then some columns and their headings should be there, some legends should be there. It should be clear what is in the what you are taken serial number, then some values. It should be a clear in the table. Only half data presenting, half data not presenting. It is not, should not be like that. Whatever the key findings are there, it should be presented in the form, in the table, and it should be explained in the text. And you have to refer that table in the figure, in the text also. I will take one example. That is, I will take one paper and I will show you. Suppose some table or figure I have given in a manuscript, then it should be covered in the text format. Example, I will show you. Just I will show. Let us take some paper, any paper. Uh, no problem. You can take any paper. Construction building materials. See, for civil engineers, you know that construction building materials is a good journal. So here I am mentioning here. We will come again one by one abstract. Everything I will come. See, suppose if I am mentioning the table 2 na here, table 2, table 3, table 4, here it is there na. So that should be represented. See, experimental program materials, then table 2, physical test of OPC. Suppose I have done some physical test on OPC. See, this table 2 is referred in the matter. Chemical and physical properties of cement material is given in table 1 and 2. So like that, it should come in the running data. Simply I am mentioning table 2 and I am not referring in the text, it is not meaningful. Whatever, any table or figure, if I am presenting here, means it should be cited in the running data. See, any figure 4. Suppose if you take some figures, these should be presented in your data. Otherwise, you should not use that table. Whatever the tables and figures I am referring, figure 8 is there. So figure 8 is, what is figure 8? This is crack pattern of this pattern. So like that, everything should come in the text. Table and figures of the manuscript. Already I discussed. Sometimes what happens, if some findings, it is easy to say, suppose some percentage improvement or whatever the, what is the basic or what is the reference you have taken, and what is the, with the reference, how much improvement is there, how much the improvement decrease is there, you want to say, definitely it is easy to represent in the form of a table. So that's why you have to go to the table and you have to represent from the table only. Okay. So to simplify the things, actually, if I am not mentioning these, suppose example here, side angle, what is the side angle I have taken, what is the specimen name group wise, what is the side angle, and what is the group of the flexural strength ratio. If I am not mentioning in the table form, then you will be confused with whether it is a 1.3 with 80 degrees or 1.5 with 80 degrees. So if I give a in the table form, then there should be a clarity for you to get the it to easily read the data. See here also beam size. If it is 1.3, 1.5, 1, 2, what is the beam sizes I have taken? Similarly, what is the reinforcement I have taken? What is the angle I have maintained? So the clarity you will get from the table. Okay. Suppose this chemical composition of OPC. If it write in the paragraph from see SiO2 is this much, Al2O3 is this much. If I write in the paragraph, it is confusing. Simply in a table, see, you will get CO2 is this much, SiO2 is this much. Then like that, you can see all other easily understandable. So in that way, and another thing, figure is also appropriate for data sets. But the thing is, you should not repeat the same in the figure. Suppose you have some compressive strength results for 7 days, 28 days, and all that. you have represented in the table, again you should not show the same with the figure. Suppose if you want to show in the figure, you can show in such a way that what is the percentage improvement from the original to the next one. Suppose you have a regular conventional concrete and fiber reinforced concrete. Then if you want to say the percentage improvement you show in the table figures, not the values in the figures. Because in the table already we are showing the these things. So there should not be no repetition. The table and figure should not show the same data. It may be relevant to the same method or material, but the same data should not be presented. There I am representing the values, then here you can represent the percentage improvement or percentage decrease. It should be in the different form, not in the same form, right? Discussion part is very, very important, because in the discussion only we can say these are the observations. Clearly we can say, suppose I have tested some experimentally, I have tested some work. Let us say same, you take the same paper. So this is the discussion part. Actually experimental observation is nothing but discussion. Experimental observation, here I am going to have the discussion part. Let us see whatever I am writing, group 3 test sample, this is all discussion. So the here each group wise, here if you observe, I am describing each of the test. For group 3, this is the test I have done and this is the observation I have made. The overall observation for group 2, overall observation for group 3, like that. In the discussion, each element wise, what is the test you have done, how much load initially you have given, at what stage the crack has started, at what stage it is elongated, at what stage at the critical junction you have seen the crack, like that. Everything you can describe. So that's why discussion part is very, very important to the topic. And composition of the discussion, already I told you, whatever the present the principles, relationships and the generalizations shown by the results. Sometimes see from these findings, actually I have to mention in the discussions, see these tables and whatever the findings. See at plus or minus 15 mm, what happening, what is the maximum load it is reaching, what is the pull direction, push direction load values I am getting, what is the displacement value I am getting. So like that I have to give the important values here, and try to give the conclusions as clear as possible in the here also. Okay, but finally in the conclusion we will give the summary of your evidences. Earlier we will give all in detail discussion test results, discussion of test results. Actually discussion means there clearly we will mention what I have done, what is this get. But when it comes to the summary, that much of that much of paragraph wise, suppose there I explained the total things in 10 lines or 15 lines. When it comes to the conclusion, if in 2 lines you have to close it, you have in the that summary you have to write in the conclusion part. That is the difference from the discussion of the test result to the summary or conclusion. And after the conclusions, already we discussed, we should acknowledge to the people, those who are technically or anyway equipment wise or financially or anyway, if they are helped, you have to give an acknowledgement in the manuscript. Along with the, suppose if you have any financial support from the external agencies or internal agencies or from the college, you have to mention here. That is the right way to give thanks to them. And after that, reference part is also very, very, very important. So already, because if I am doing some work means definitely I have referred. So reference is a standardized way of acknowledging the source of information and idea that you have used in your document. Because definitely if I am doing some work means there will be some source, some idea. Initially it is created by some person, and for that you are giving extension. That's why we are calling it as a research, right? So definitely you have to acknowledge and you have to say thanks to them in the form of by referring their paper and citing that paper, citing their work in your research findings, and finally in the references you have to give them a list. All the references must be written. And so already I told you, when you are going for referencing, generally name and year is one pattern. You can refer in the citation, you can give the name and you can give the year, or you may go for alphabet number system. Actually you may follow the alphabetical. That means in the references what you will do, alphabetically you start. Suppose some author starts A, some author starts with B, some author starts C. So like that, alphabetically you write the references. But when you, in the introduction, it may be a fifth paper or it may be a sixth paper, you can say the name of the paper, alphabetical number system means you give the reference of that. Suppose fifth is suitable in the beginning only, you can say 5, no problem. But another method is citation order system. Citation order means what we will do, whoever suppose in the introduction, example I will show you here. With the example I will show you, it is easy to understand. See here in this paper, some references we have used. See here I am writing first. So he is first means he is the first person. So in the references, this is the first paper. So this is one pattern. Another pattern I will show from my papers. Another pattern is also there. Let us say here. Here also numbering. Na? So numbering is one type. And this we can see. This is different actually. See here, only if you take here, Husby et al. 2013. So this is one type of giving the citation to the reference. So here, Husby et al. 2013 is also there in the references, but I may be followed here alphabetically, starting from A. See here, I written starting from A, B, C, D, E, F, like that. Husby will be here. H na. I, J, K. So like that, here he will get. Here he is going to be in the H order. He is going to be like that. By alphabetically also you can mention, no problem. So this is one type. And some papers you may give in the you may give this 1, 2, 3 only, but it may be in the up or down like that. 1 minute, Asian Journal of Civil Engineering. Let us see here. This is ASC paper. I will show you what are the different type of papers actually and how they are going to. Here also we are giving the surname and this one only. And BAJC, Asian Journal of Civil Engineering. Let us see here also 1, 2, 3 we followed. Sometimes what we will do is we will give superscript or subscription, like that also we can mention. Varieties of indexing is there actually. Referencing you can give in any way. These are the reference systems we can have. Name and year, how to follow, then alphabetical, how to write, citation order, how to write. In the references, it may be a book, it may be a journal or magazine, it may be a newspaper, it may be an encyclopedia, book article or chapter, it may be a book chapter, it may be a document, it may be a website, or it may be a journal article on the internet. Some journal articles you will not get hard copy, only it will be available in the internet. So like that, based on that we have to follow the format. Generally when you are writing a this one reference, just I will show you. See here, just you come to the end. If you writing any reference, first we will write the author names. Sometimes in some journals they will give only one author and at all they will write. Then after that, some journals immediately they will write here or here. Here they are mentioning here. Here is here. So first you have to get the author names, then title of the paper, performance of concrete made with the commercially produced coarse recycled aggregate, then where it is published, cement and concrete research, then what is the volume of the journal. This is 31 volume and it is published in 2001. So what are the page numbers of it? So like this you can mention. This is one type. And if you go to another journal, let us see in the references. Here also alphabetical, but year is came here, authors, then year, then title of that paper, then where it is published, like that. Then volume or page numbers. Nowadays we are going to have the DOI also. If DOI is there, better at the end you give the DOI also. Okay, so like that we have to mention the references. Obviously if it is a book or if it is a book chapter, there what is the year of publication, then what is the ISN number, then where it is presented, who is the because publishers will be there na? Like that only at the end it will be changes, the details will be changed based on the reference type. Okay, so generally when you are writing a paper, these things are important. So just I will take one paper and I will explain you how I have written. Suppose if you take this paper, experimental investigation of reinforced SCC beam column joint, this is a very high paper. Instead of that I will take initially a simple paper, so that you can easily understand how to write a simple paper. I will take a small paper which is very simple. Okay, key engineering materials, let us take. See, actually this paper is from conference, so we published a conference paper. After that it is published from the Transtech publications, key engineering materials. It is published in the key engineering materials. Originally it is a conference paper. Actually it is from a conference paper, and after the conference it is published in this. So it can be shown as a journal paper, it may be shown as a book chapter, or it can be shown in the conference also. See here, title of the paper, then you have to mention authors, then here 1 and 2, this is the reference, actually affiliations, what is his assistant professor, research scholar, then where he is working, like that. Then particularly we are going to have the, when you are contacting, when you are writing a paper, one is going to be, he is the main person who is going to be contacting. So you have to mention who is going to take responsibility of regularly communicating the paper. So his mail ID should come here. See, when you take this paper, my guide is communicated. So he is the communicating corresponding author. That called corresponding author. Who is the corresponding author, and who is the in the two authors, one may be the corresponding author. Then like that, after that we will write the abstract. In the abstract already we told you now, you have to write a simple abstract. It should not be in more than a single half page. Generally, maximum of 500 pages. So in that, simply you have to say what is the method you have followed, what is the what in the present work glass fiber reinforced concrete was developed with mechanical properties of M20. So then observations 10 to 17%, 10 to 14% improvement. So like that I have to give the brief idea about my work. Then with respect to Indian code, how these results are varying. After that we have to give the keywords also, what are the important words. Then introduction already I told you, because these in the introduction you are referring already previously some were people have done this in this direction. So here it is a construction demolition waste, means basically what is it, then why we have to go for recycling, then like that after with the recycling what happening, then because recycled concrete means it is a inferior material, to improve these properties what I have added, glass fiber I have added. If I am adding glass fiber, what advantages I am getting. So for this, if any person has already done on the glass fiber, he may not done on the recycle aggregate based glass fiber, but he may done on the glass fiber. So I am referring his the paper. That paper 8 is says about the properties of the glass fiber and how the how it will affect in the behavior of the concrete. So like that we have to write. Then research significance, scope of the work or research significance we have to write. What is the significance of this work? What is the importance of your work? Then experimental study. In the experimental study, obviously here actually materials, it is nothing but aggregate is nothing but materials, their material description. Then in the table form, figure form, if you want to represent, you can represent. After that, then I will go for the method. See here, experimental investigation is the method. So what is the method? Yeah, just after this we will have a small break. Okay, so casting of the specimen, then testing of the specimen. After casting and testing, we will go for testing. Then in the testing also see what is the instrument you have used. Is it visible whatever I am showing?
Yes, sir, visible.
Visible na? Okay, okay. Just after this we will have a small break. Okay, okay. See here, suppose if you are using some specimen, then you have to say what is the capacity of the specimen, then the details of the specimens, how you have tested with the cube or prism or cylinder, like that. Then what is the dial gauge you have used, like that. Then interpretation and discussion of the test results. Already we have discussed now what is the importance. After doing some test, obviously you have to interpret the results and discussions, that clearly you have to write. These are my interpretations, and from this work, this percentage of improvement or percent of decrease I have observed. Then see, whatever you are representing in the table, it should not be same in the graph should be different. Here percentage increase I am showing here, but if you take the table, I may have shown the results. But here if you see the graphs are different. See here compressive strength 34.6, but if you see here, it is only percentage improvement, not the directly compressive strength, like that. There should be a different format you have to follow. The table should show in the different way, and the figure, same data cannot be represented in the table and figure, like that. Okay, afterwards some grade of concrete with without fiber, with fiber, with the different replacements, what is the effect of the modulus of elasticity, then what is the stress strain variation. So here I am representing modulus of elasticity, here I am representing in the stress strain form. So like that. Then after that, what are the conclusions, then what is the references I have followed here. Suppose if I am using here 12 pages papers na as a reference, all 12 should come here. 14 na, suppose example, see 14 also, 14 is a code. Suppose if you are using some code books, they should also can be used. So all the 14 should be come here. Similarly table 5, suppose here I am using table 5 na, definitely in the running matter I have to mention that table 5 is giving these results. I have to refer that table here somewhere. I have to say table 5 shows the details of the values of the modulus of elasticity. Suppose simply I am writing the table modulus velocity, but nowhere I am referring, it is useless. Definitely we have to refer. So like that, you can publish a conference paper, or you can publish. So we will have a small break. After that, what I want to say is, what is a conference, how to write a conference paper, how to write a small journal paper, or how to write a scopus indexed paper, then how to write a SCI paper, like that we will discuss. Okay, so before going to that, uh, any doubts or any clarification anyone wants? Any discussion?
Thank you, sir. Now the
Ramsagar?
discussion session is on. Anyone doubts? If you have any queries, you can ask us.
Yeah, you have any query? Suppose you how to write abstract, or you have any problem in writing a introduction, or any problem in writing the methodology, or any problem in writing the scope of the work, then citation problem, any problem, I will discuss. For civil construction building materials is a good paper, and similarly ASC, American Society of Civil Engineers, this is also a good paper. And like that, see, this is prediction of SCC using artificial neural network, not only the experimental part. Sometimes what happens with the existing data, predicting the values also important. So here what I have done is, just by using the available, this data is from my research. Actually I have taken some 100 samples by taking different mixed proportions. So I have trained the data and I tested by using the simple AL network. From that, mean, standard, maximum, minimum values I have taken, and from that again I have predicted the values also. So like that, so many types of papers you can publish. And actually this key engineering materials is a conference paper. Actually conference paper means initially it will be published in the conference as a only abstract will be published in the conference, and it will not come as a full paper. Only some extended abstract they will publish there, but the full paper they will publish in the journal, as a journal, or sometimes it may be as a book chapter also. Suppose if it is a book chapter, see how to recognize whether it is a paper or a conference. See here it will mention article means it is a paper. Article, article in press, conference paper. See it is, if you see this paper, it is a conference paper. Then conference paper, conference paper, article, article. If it is a book chapter, then it will show it is a book chapter, like that. And nowadays, see why I am maintaining all this. I am maintaining Scopus, I am maintaining my ORC ID, because suppose if you somewhere you are applying, then they will ask you what is your ORC ID, what is your Scopus ID, what is your Google Scholar ID. These things are very important nowadays. The public, they will ask what is your citation index, what is your H citation, I-10 citation, what is your I-10 citation. All these things are very important. How many? Because if your work is cited by other people, means it is a good work, na? Then only they will cite. See this paper I got 43 citations, this I got 38 citations. So like that, you have to maintain your data in a Google Scholar or in a anywhere. In the Scopus ID also you can maintain, because here in the Scopus ID only indexed papers, that is it is indexed by some journal like SCI index or Scopus index, or three indexes are there, na? Like that, any indexing. So anyone have any discussion? Otherwise I will go for the general discussion, general topic. Basically nowadays, whether it is a BTech work, MTech work, not only this publication, actually I will show you the patents. I will show you some of my patents also. Then some if you have a new idea which is not presented or anywhere, you have done some preliminary work and you are thinking that it is useful to the society, then you can apply as a project also. See, the main motto of our this induction program is how to write the project, all these things, na? Everything it is covered. So that's why if you see the brochure, publication, projects, funded, and patents. Publication, journal publication. Projects means how to get a funded project. If you have any idea and you have done some preliminary work, so from that, because what happens, you have done some preliminary work, but afterwards you want to extend that some work and some instruments you need, but that are available in your institute, then that you can apply as a project. You apply it as a project. For the project, actually there should be a novelty and all that. Simple example I will show you how to write a project also. One small project I will see. DST Fist, already we received a DST Fist project with 150 crores. So like that, any project, uh, just wait. Okay, so like that, if you want to write a project, you can write a project also. So like that, so many. But paper means generally wherever, whenever you are choosing a paper journal, na, they will give you the clearly they will mention we need in this format. This is the template of this paper. They will provide you the template, accordingly you follow. But if you come to the ranking of the journals, see, if you see Q1 and Q2 ranking like that, Q1 to Q4 ranking of, there are so many varieties of journals. Q1 ranked means very good journal, which is indexed by SCI, Science Citation Index, then Web of Science, and Scopus Index. All these three good indexes and their impact factor. Suppose their impact factor is above 2, above 3, above 4, then we can say it is a Q1 highest ranking journal. Suppose you already I have shown you some journals, na? If it is a SCI journal, or if it is a construction building material, or ASCE journal, or ACI journal, all these are Q1 ranked, and their science citation index is there. The impact factor we will call it as impact factor. See how they will calculate impact factor means, suppose I have published one paper in ASC example you can take. So this paper, how many people cited after this year? So based on the my citation, if my paper is citation is improved, then their impact factor also improves. Because based on the citations, their impact factor also goes on increasing. So if the impact factor is increasing means it is a good journal. And generally the high quality Q1 ranking journals, generally they are going to have the Scopus index, SCI index, SCI or expanded SCI index, both will be same. And science emerging emerging SCI is also coming. Emerging SCI means it may have the SCI, but in future it is trying for SCI. That will come under Q2 ranking, not the Q1 ranking. Q1 ranking means it is a under SCI. Q2, some Scopus indexed journals will come under Q2. Q3 means they have not the directly Scopus or SCI, but some of them may have the SCI, but not that much citations. That means their impact factor is not that much high. A small impact factor. Suppose impact factor of 0.8, impact factor of 1, less than 1, I can say. Less than 1, 0.8, 0.5, like that, if they are having the impact factor, then these will be called as Q3 ranking journal. And Q4, they are journals just they have started their career, and they are having a very small, they are trying for the indexing. Then it is the Q4 ranking, like that. Obviously, you keep in mind that whenever you are publishing a paper, it should be a indexed journal. The advantage of indexed journal is whenever you are submitting a paper, directly they will not publish the paper. First, they will send it for the peer review. It will go for the peer review. Once the peer review is completed, then you will get the reviewer comments. Then you have to reply whether it is a major revision or minor revision, like that. They will do the revision. They will ask for revision. Then you have to give the proper replies to the reviewer comments along with the changed manuscript. We have to upload the updated manuscript along with the reviewer comments. Then it will undergo for again the same reviewer will go. If he satisfies, then they will say your paper is accepted for publication. So like that, not only one single peer review, minimum 2 reviewers should accept. If they will send 3 or 4 persons, if it is a Q1 ranking, they may send to the 4 or 5 persons also. They will take majority of the persons. Suppose it is sent to the 5 persons, 3 are accepted or 2 are rejected. Then it is the decision of the editor, like that. If the ranking is increasing, the peer review of the paper is going to be increasing, because they are maintaining that much of quality. By peer review, what happens is the reviewer give you the suggestions in such a way that you will make the paper some more improved. You can improve your paper by with the reviewer comments, because initially you may are thinking what you are thinking, it may not be correct na. So by the help of these reviewers, you can improve your paper and it can be published. Okay, nowadays we are getting the online publication. Just you see article available on Plus. Recently I have published this paper on 8th. It is came into prediction of compressive strength of normal concrete using an ensemble machine learning approach. Actually, one analytical method is there. So from that, I have published this in ASC journal. It is a Scopus indexed journal. It is a Q3 ranking journal. So like that, you can. It is a Springer nature. Springer, then elsewhere like that. Good publishers also you have to choose. Taylor and Francis, like that. For civil, you have to choose the good publishers also. Elsewhere, almost all the elsewhere publications, they are having a Scopus index like that. So that's why if I go through this Scopusing indexing, see all these papers are Scopus indexed. Whatever I am showing, materials today proceeding is there. It is also Scopus indexed. Lecture notes in civil engineering. Actually, this is the conference paper which is published in the lecture notes in civil engineering. Actually, this will come under the book chapter, not as a. I cannot claim it as a conference paper. You can claim it as a conference paper. Along with that, I can take it as a book chapter also, because it is published in a book series. So its site score is this much, SRJ rank is this much, lecture notes in civil engineering. So like that, how to calculate their citation, everything is mentioned in the online version. Okay, so anyone, whoever is doing any research, my sincere idea is, whatever the work you have done, you start with a conference. You write a small 5-page or 4-page conference paper with the whatever the work you have done, but you choose the literature also in such a way that which is relevant to you, and it is indexed, it is peer reviewed. The literature whatever I am selecting is, it should be a good literature, so that your paper value will be improved. So like that, you choose the paper, start with a conference paper, then after that you go for an international conference paper, then publish some journal papers which are indexed. Then like that, you have to improve yourself. Okay, right? Thank you. This is from my side. Still, if you have any doubts, I'm ready to discuss. Thank you. Over to Sagar.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable information. So, dear participants, if you have any queries related any presentation, you can ask to sir. The session is open for doubts. So, still, if you are anyone hesitate to ask the doubts, you can ping in online, or you can mail whatever the mails you are receiving. So you can reply to that mail. Those doubts can be forwarded to the resource persons, and the discussions can be shared to you.
Yeah. Right now, if you are not able to ask, you send
Yeah.
your query to the mail ID, whatever I have shared. So from that also, we will have a reply. I will give you the reply. Okay.
Sir,
So, taking
very
the
much thankful to you, sir, for your valuable presentation to our participants. So before
Thank
that,
you.
I would like to say special thanks to you, sir, because from 2 to 3 days onwards, you are very busy. You were, I think you were in the journey also, even though immediately after completion of your journey, you were ready to present. So we are very much thankful for that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
sir.
the information that you have provided from starting, what are the things should be there in the abstract, what need to be presented in the introduction, and what are the things should be there, what is the importance of discussion, whatever the
Yes.
results that we got. So for the raw data, anyway, it's the responsibility of the authors to present. It should understandable to everyone,
Yes.
especially for reviewers. They need to understand that you were explained in a clear cut way how to be presented our results. in a better way, as well as the conclusion and references. And apart from this, the work you have shown, whatever the work that you have done under publications, including the
it is.
conference, we are very much
Yes,
thankful, sir.
all,
And I think
all these are available in the net. If anyone wants, just type my name. Suppose in the Google Scholar, you want to see what are the journals I have, you can refer and you can download the paper also. Some papers are available online. So just as a reference, you can see how to publish a conference paper, how to publish a journal paper, how to write a book chapter. Like that, at least a reference you will get from the Google Scholar or from Scopus Index. Everywhere, if you type my name, you will get. That is what I want to say.
yes, sir. I will send the link to all the participants through mail, sir. I will send the mail.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And just now I received one question query from one participant.
Yes, sir.
Can we submit same paper to multiple journals at a time?
Actually, it is not a good practice, sir. Some people, what they are doing is same paper they will send, because nowadays the technology is very high. Whatever you have submitted, that data they know.
Yes, sir.
It is legally it is not correct. And once they know that the same, when you are submitting, there is an option. We have to mention that this paper is not published, sent to publish for anywhere. We are saying it is not sent to any other publisher. बोल के yes कर रहा है हम. So if you are here, you are giving some data and you are not sticking to that. Sometimes what happens, both may reject. Nowadays the technology is at a very high end, sir. Even if you submit a paper, they will know how many papers are under review, your papers, and how many are published. Now the technology, just by because we are submitting with our email ID only, our corresponding mail IDs are 1 or 2. So just by that they will search and they will find. Actually, it is not recommended. It is not recommended.
Yes,
You can divide into two parts. If you want to divide into some data in this journal, some data in this journal, like that you can publish. But the same data actually you cannot publish. Suppose after getting rejected in some paper and some comments they have given, then improving that paper with the comments, then you can go to the next paper. Like that you can do. Some journal it is rejected. You have submitted it, but they have rejected, and they have given a clear reason also why they have rejected. So after modifying this paper with the comments, whatever you have received, you go for reviewing the paper once again and you reply the comments thoroughly. Then you can submit the same paper in the another paper. But at a time, actually legally it is not right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, with your permission, can we post this recorded video in our YouTube channel, sir?
Okay, no problem. I do not have any objection.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Still,
Thank you all.
any queries from
Hello?
participants? And
I'm audible. Hello.
you can. Yeah, you are audible, sir. You can ask.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. This is Dr. Vishal Singh from Maladi College of Engineering from Hyderabad.
Yes, sir.
I'm audible to you. Okay, sir. First
Yes.
of all, the presentation you have shown is very clear and sound and loud.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I generally I don't have any question, but I just want to interact you because I've heard about you from one of my senior who is working under you, maybe Nilanjan Da. So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was a
Nilanjan
senior in
University.
KIT University.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
He is
after
my
that, he joined under you, and I have done my PhD from BITS Pilani. Okay, so we used to keep on interacting. So today I got a chance to interact with you. It's good to see you, sir.
to meet you. He submitted his thesis.
Yeah,
Nilanjan is
yes,
submitted.
sir. Yes,
Just waiting for Viva.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because we are in touch, so we used to work on this.
Yeah, he
sir,
is
sir, I have
also
one,
very. Yeah, please.
yes, sir. Small question, like since I have also published some paper in SCI. But the problem what I face, like when suppose I'm working in composite structures, my area is structural engineering in composite structures. So I have published some paper which is related to work of aerospace engineering. Okay. Now what problem I encountered is when I'm submitting some paper, the editor in the first 1 or 2 cases, they have rejected by saying that this doesn't come in the scope of their work. But I have seen that some of the paper which I have cited from the journal as a reference, they're already presented. It's similar kind of work, but they reject by saying that this doesn't come the scope of their work. So what can be done? Is it can be confront with this by writing a letter key? This is already the work is already the same kind of work is already there.
No. Actually, what they are, no. I understand your problem. Actually, what happens is nowadays, whatever the area we are working, suppose if he is getting in the same area 5 or 6 papers,
Okay.
then again he is going among them, which is very qualitative, and the comment what he is giving is not at all relevant to that paper actually. Whatever the comment you are receiving now, actually it is not suitable to that. But instead of saying that I am not able to take your paper because already some papers are already in pipeline, simply they are saying that it is not suitable. It is not a right question actually, right answer.
Okay. That's what.
You
Because
try
if they are,
the same in other journal. If he has given any technically sound review comments he is given, you go through that comments, you update and you submit in another journal. Actually what
Yes,
happening is, suppose same work I am also published, I have also sent some paper on SCC, and some IIT professor is also sent some SCC. His citation index is very good and he is a very reputed person. Work is same. So obviously what they are doing is they are giving importance to that professor only. They are not giving importance to me. If the nature of work is same, sometimes what happens is, if they are getting the same nature of similar 4 or 5 papers, so they are selecting the top papers. And simply they are saying it is not suitable. Actually it is not like that.
Because the problem which I faced is because I have submitted one of my paper in the SCI in journal. I will not say the name. So it was a 3.15 impact factor.
Good.
But 4 days back, I got up that published paper is published, and it was published in 8.17 impact factor journal. So a low impact factor journal is rejecting, but a high impact factor is accepting this. So that's
why
problem.
No need to worry. You don't worry. You go on. If they are not giving any technically sound comments, means they are not at all gone for review. Simply they, due to some other problem, they have rejected. There is no problem with the paper.
Thank you.
If they are giving technically, if they are saying these are the reasons, that's why I am not able to publish, then you can say there is some problem with our paper. Otherwise, nowadays, if you see, they are not giving any valuable reason. Simply they are rejecting. That means they are having some other papers, weightage, some other person, or some. Nowadays, what is happening? Some name also, some other things also coming into picture. Actually, it should not be like that. So because of that reason, so your work is good, you should not discourage, you don't worry, you try in another journal. If they are not giving any technically sound replies, means it is not problem with your journal paper, it is problem with them. They are having some other commitments. They are, nowadays suppose if any high his citations are very good, some other person same work he has done, they may have chosen that paper. That may be the reason actually.
Thank you for this clear of doubt. Thank you, sir. Nice to interact with you. Thank you.
So if any paper is rejected without any proper reason, no need to worry. Simply you can try in another journal where it is suitable. That is the best option. No need to worry. If they are giving any technically sound reason, particularly they are mentioning that these are the reasons, that's why we are not able to publish your paper, then we have to go for we have to thoroughly check the comments. We have to accordingly we have to see. Sometimes we may do some mistakes when we are doing some experimentation, or when you are doing some analytical work. What we are expecting may be different, and what is original may be different. So in that case, we have to correct our process. We have to go in the right way. Again, we have to try in the, if they give a chance to resubmit, otherwise we, with the improved version, we can submit in the other journal also. No problem. It will be published.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
So any other queries, or shall we close the session?
Okay, sir. I think still if any participant is having any queries, they can send to our mail ID, which we are provided to them.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir,
So, sir, with your permission, shall we close the session, sir?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you all
Yes, sir.
once again.
Thank you so much, sir. L.V.PRASAD, sir. Thank you so much for accepting our
Thank you.
invitation.
Even in future, if I get any chance to visit your college, definitely I will come there. We will be